Hey everyone, I'm Grant, the Rusty Autoholic guy, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm hoping to test fire my ALH TDI engine that's going to be going into my right-hand drive TJ Wrangler. Now I have this standalone wiring harness and a custom tune on the ECU from Fast Forward Automotive in Canada, and I just want to hear the engine run before I start taking it completely apart. Right now it still has the manual transmission attached to it, which is a good thing because it's going to allow me to start the motor, because that's how the starter is mounted. But that's the current plan, so I'm going to get to it. The first thing I am doing is trying to figure out all the connections I need to be able to do a test fire on this motor. I actually think the first thing I want to do is just be able to hook a battery up to it and see if I can trigger the starter solenoid and just hear the engine spin. I don't necessarily want to have any fuel running to the motor or even have the standalone wiring harness and ECU attached. I'm just trying to figure out how all this works. Again, I got this motor already pulled, so I really don't know a lot about it. I have owned a Volkswagen TDI in the past, but it was a BEW engine, not an ALH, which is an earlier model of the TDI. So right now I'm just trying to figure out how this is all going to work. And I'm back. So here's what I have figured out. This is part of the wiring harness that was originally given to me with this engine when I bought it. And not that one. This wire, I believe, is what clips onto the starter solenoid. So I am just going to cut this wire off right here. Sweet. And then all of this goes away. And by goes away, I mean out of the camera shot. Then we take this. Ooh, that is it's a double shielded wire. Okay. You know what? I'll just be right back. I'm going to get a battery. I'm going to find a pair of strippers that will actually strip this wire. And then probably am going to remove the serpentine belt. And then we're going to try just seeing if the starter will spin over the engine. So I'll be right back. I'm now going to remove the serpentine belt, so I don't have to worry about spinning all the accessories and the alternator and everything. You know what I'm going to do real quick? This is going to take a little bit of shuffling, so I'm not going to record this. I am going to get my engine hoist out and support this because I don't want this tipping over on me when I try hitting the starter. So I'll be back. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, motor spins over. That always makes me nervous. It's always going to make me nervous. Actually, I just realized why it sounded funny. I need to remove all this tape. I'll be right back. I will say, this TDI setup has one major advantage over the Kubota setup, which I could have solved eventually, but it's this variable geometry turbo. Being able to change the vanes and the turbine housing so that the turbo spools up faster at lower RPM is really a brilliant design. It was actually something I had been considering trying to incorporate into my Kubota engine, but I just never got that far to really start looking into how I was going to do it. But I really think that's where this whole setup is going to shine. With everything undone, and that was done to make everything waterproof, I'm now going to start trying to hook up all the electrical connections, including this. This is the throttle pedal for the motor because these TDIs are drive-by-wire, not drive-by-cable, though you can get a mechanical pump. I'm running this completely computer-controlled, so I have a functional OBD2 port. So I'm now going to spend the next little while trying to hook up all the electrical connections so we can possibly test fire this motor. Once all the electrical connections are hooked up, then I have to figure out how to supply this with fuel. So yeah, one problem at a time. Found a different funnel that fits better. I have all the wiring figured out. I don't have everything hooked up, but I think I have enough stuff hooked up that the engine should fire. So I'm going to pour some diesel fuel in. Okay. We're going to open the shop and try test firing this thing. Now or never. Let's see if the sucker starts. Fire in the hole. Well, I don't know what that was about, but we have a running TDI motor. And that is frigging awesome. I have no idea what just happened there. But, wow, that started with ease. Oh, I'm pumped. I am super excited. Wow, it wasn't nearly as loud as I thought it was. And I just got diesel fuel all over my new wiring harness. Well, it runs. It runs good. All right, everyone. It runs. It actually runs really, really well. I'm honestly surprised with how easy that started. I was expecting to have to crack the injector lines, bleed the fuel system, do something to get this running. Honestly, I still have a lot of connectors on the wiring harness that I just didn't hook up. I didn't hook up the N75 valve, just a lot of small things where I was like, I might not need this. So for it to start and just idle, that was amazing. The other good thing is I got in the first parts of the adapter from KubotaSwappers today. So this is the plate that connects to the transmission. This is the plate that connects to the block. And it's going to make sure I do this right. Yeah. It's going to be something like that. So that's what it's going to look like. So it's going to have a 15-degree tilt. So that way. And I am still waiting on the crankshaft adapter that gets on the lathe sometime this week. And I'm also waiting on the hardware. I ended up having to give KubotaSwappers the measurements. I was late doing that. That was all on me. So he's already ordered all the hardware for this and has mailed it out to me. I should be getting that either later this week or early next week. So we're moving along very nicely. Knowing the engine works is a huge milestone, and just honestly it makes doing the rest of this swap just so much easier. So that's all I have for this video. In the next video we're going to start really stripping down this motor. We're going to remove the manual transmission. We're going to remove all the vacuum lines, all the cooling lines, and just really strip down the motor to the point for what we need to install it in my TJ. We're probably also going to take it outside and hit it with some engine degreaser and clean the motor as well. But yeah, we're making great progress. I'm really excited with how quickly this is kind of moving. This is probably going to be a much faster build than the Kubota, which is a relief. But yeah, it's YouTube. You know what to do, and I will see y'all very soon. Goodbye.